Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible to you all. My camera must not be working. I think there is some technical issue. Although I'm from technical world, but these things also get to me. I hope I'm audible. Can I get a yes or no in the chat box? Thank you, Himanshu. Thank you, Shivam, for your responses. So, first of all, I'm so glad that you have joined us here uh, in like Sunday noon for this session. We are just waiting for our mentor Ashwin Gol to join in and to your other fellow participants to join in so that we can start. The topic of discussion for today will be how you can ace. There are two agendas. One, how can you ace Flipkart's data analytics interview? One is that. Another is how you can decode its data strategy and then use it in your interview or any other interview that you are looking forward to. So, how to unlock the data strategy using data analytics, that is something that we are going to learn today. And the data set that we are going to use is of Big Billion Day. Everyone must be aware of Big Billions Day sale and how successful it is every year. So let me know in the chat box if everyone is aware of what BBD is, Big Billion Day, Flipkart's Big Billion Day sale. You can drop a BBD in the chat box. Great, 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 great. So everyone is aware of it, and everyone must be shopping also, using the offers that they have. So before we start, I just want to understand what all personas we have, and it will also give Ashwin Goel, who is the speaker for today's session. Ashwin Goel is product and data in product and data analytics, and his manager at HRS Group with his previous experience in Oyo Udan, and he is a graduate from IIT Rupert, of course, and he has experience helping individuals transition from non-tech to tech. So in the meantime, he's joining. Let's just do an activity where you can drop in the chat box what all profiles you're coming from, like who all are already data analyst, who is looking forward to become a data analyst. Students, Mukul is saying he is a student. uh, Jagdeep is saying I'm a finance data analytics background, and Nand is saying so. How many of you are looking forward to become a data analyst, and what all you guys are doing? So these responses will help Ashwin better to understand you guys. Great, great. BTech student trying to be a data analyst. Claim associate, but now looking to become a data. Great responses. Pursuing MCA. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome, awesome. Okay, I see mix of responses. Someone is replying, yes, we are buying also. Okay, this must be the response to the Big Billion Day, I guess. It's great that you guys are buying and grabbing those offers. It's nice. Okay, so I'm doing MBA in data analytics. Okay, MBA in data analytics. Nice. Ashish is saying I'm family background, tech background. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you guys for your responses. And we'll be starting in 2 minutes. So you can, in the meantime, have a check on your network connectivity. And if you guys want to have a notepad or something with you, you can keep that handy. Ashwin is just setting up his system. Okay, someone is asking, I'm from fresher, HR, I'm a HR fresher. Can I make a switch to IT sector? So, of course, you can. This is Rachna. Rachna, of course, you can. Sure, you can. You just need right skills and right guidance, and there are a lot of platforms that those are providing such services, where you not just get training but also placements, placement opportunities. So of course you can do that with the, but you might have to be working in a smart way and the right direction. So these are also a few things that Ashwin is going to unlock for you guys today. Hey, hi Ashwin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you able to hear me and see me properly? Just confirm once.
Yes, yes, yes. So the wait is over. Ashwin is here, and now the stage is all yours, Ashwin. You can. We just were chatting and we were getting to know each other, like what all these guys are doing, the audience that we have today, what all personas they are coming from, and what are they looking forward to in life. So yeah, the chat is all yours to see and to have the understanding of the type of audience we have. And having said that, I think it's already 12:10 and we should just start rolling.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Anshika. Thanks everyone for bearing with me. I was in another session, so we had to start a bit late. All right. So let's start. I'm Ashwin. I am a product manager at HRS Group. I manage data science teams here. We are building some of the most, utilizing some of the most cutting edge AI and data science technologies. So to build global products. Prior to this, I was a product analyst at Udaan. Udaan is India's largest B2B e-commerce. And there I got an exposure to a lot of data around e-commerce, right? So I handled Udaan, Flipkart, Amazon e-commerce data sets to learn from them, to derive insights from them, right? And I've seen data across India. I mean, data from across India around orders, any category like electronics, mobile accessories, lifestyle, and across products, across geographies, categories, and products. So I think today what we are going to do is I will walk you through a very simple data set and how we can derive insights from it, right? Using any tool like Excel, Power BI, or even SQL. And then I will, the most important part is the interview questions, right? So I will also walk you through interview questions that companies like Flipkart ask, right? Specifically around Excel, SQL, Python, because these are the three most important skills for any data analyst, right? In that order: Excel, SQL, and Python. So I will also walk you around through that. All right, let's start. Uh, I will start presenting my screen. Let's see. So first of all, what is Big Billion Days? So Flipkart strategy is to organize typically somewhere around 1 week of festive. This is like a festival for Flipkart that has the best offers, right? So Flipkart negotiates with brands. Let's say OnePlus, right? Flipkart may negotiate with Samsung for the best offers. So what it does is it negotiates with OnePlus and asks that, okay, this is your mobile phone for 35,000. If you offer it for 34,000 on Flipkart, I will ensure, I being Flipkart here, I will ensure that 1 lakh orders are placed, right? So they have targets, right, based on offers. So if this target is met, or if this offer, if you give me this offer, I will help you achieve this target. If you offer your 35K phone for 34K on Flipkart, I will ensure that 1 lakh orders are being placed of this OnePlus phone, right? So that's the kind of deals that are made, and people making these deals are called. Can you tell me in the chat what are these people called? They're called category managers, right? Very very widely known uh, role, right, across companies, Flipkart, Amazon, any e-commerce company effectively. So yes, that is there. How do we do this again? So Flipkart negotiates with brands. That is the buy side of things. That is called the buy side of things. And I know this process because I've been in touch with a lot of Flipkart colleagues, and this is how it happens at Udan as well, roughly. And I myself was selected in Flipkart's interview, so I have an idea. I read about it at that point when I was selected in the process. Um, so this is the buy side, and then on the sell side, we display these offers to customers through the Flipkart app or website, right? And then Flipkart may do its own thing. It may prioritize that, bring that listing to the top, or maybe give it a sponsored tag, or whatever, right? Or maybe run advertisements across the board on Flipkart, off Flipkart. So all of that is part of the strategy to ensure that that goal is met, right? On the whole, that's the uh, overall strategy. Now, how does it do this? It uses data very rigorously to do this. How can Flipkart promise something to a brand when it does not, when it cannot see the future? Right? It does a lot of forecasting, and forecasting is done on past data. It sees that, okay, it looks at the data and says that last year I sold 98,000 OnePlus phones, right? Let's say OnePlus 6 was sold, 98,000 OnePlus 6 phones were sold. Next year, the new model, let's say, is OnePlus 7. Now, based on the past data, based on past behavior and order history, all of that, can I give a target of 1 lakh this year? Right? From 98,000 to 1 lakh, is it possible? And obviously, bunch of other factors are looked at. Not only the order history, a lot of things are looked at. A lot of things are considered, and then they give this target. And this target or this promise that is given to the brand, that promise basically is, if it is met, then obviously well and good, very good for the company. If it is not met, then obviously the relations take a hit sometimes, right? So all of that happens. And because in big billion days, what happens is that these offers are at the peak, or these negotiations are at the peak. So they negotiate throughout the year for the big billion days, and those offers are then displayed during the BBD, right? So now, yeah, I'm not sharing my screen till now. I will start sharing now. Let's see. So this is the data set that we have today. Very simple data set. I'll just give you an idea of the kind of data that Flipkart looks at while making some of these promises. I hope you can see the screen. Perfect. Now, what do we have here, right? We have the name of the item, Lenovo IdeaPad Gaming 3 Ryzen 7 octa core. So these are all laptops, by the way, right? I have data of about 937 laptops with me. So this is a product. Next, we have the offer price. In BBD, this is the offer price. The original price is this. And if you can see, there's a significant difference. 36% off, right? 36% off on the original price. That's the offer price. And similarly for others, right? Then we have total rating. How many people gave a rating for this particular product? As you can see, very few. Can Flipkart make a promise here? Because very few people have rated. Can Flipkart really make a very strong profit promise here? Tell me, yes or no? Very few people have rated, and only three people have given a review. Although the rating is good, but we don't have a lot of data to back our promise. So can we give up? Can Flipkart promise Lenovo that I'm going to sell 3 lakh units of your laptop? Tell me in the chat. It can't, obviously, right? Not really. Yes. So answer is no, basically. Uh, it can't really make a promise because it does not have sufficient data. Data drives decision making. Data drives strategy. Leaders in Flipkart, right? Directors, and I've talked to them, so I know this very, very well. I can ensure that they will not be able to make this promise uh, unless there are, of course, other data points that help us to be more confident. But effectively, these directors of those categories, right, or VP of VP of electronics category, VP vice president of mobiles category, in this case VP of laptops category, they cannot promise, or if they are promising, then there need to be other data points. They drive, or they make their decisions or base their strategies on data. They never base it on gut check, which is why Flipkart is so successful today, right? It is based on data 101%. And one of my friends, one of my flatmates in Bangalore was manager in Flipkart, um, for the mobile accessories category, right? Which includes earphones, covers, gaming mouses, and I mean gaming mouse, all of that, right? Laptop accessories, mobile accessories. So all the time, that person was working on Excel sheets and trying to see the past data, like this one, right? That how many orders were placed of a particular product, and based on that, can we predict? Can we forecast and understand that okay, suddenly Lenovo IdeaPad sales skyrocketed in the last few months. Maybe in the BBD, I can sell a lot of Lenovo IdeaPads, right? I can sell a lot of them, or maybe I can negotiate a better offer from the brand and say that, okay, I will give you this much sales. I will promote your brand. I will show advertisements of your brand, of your product. Can you reduce the price for my customers? Right? My customers, obviously, Flipkart's customers are people like you and me. So that kind of a thought process, that kind of a strategy building exercise happens there. Okay. Minimum review count to promise for sale, Udit, not sure, because, of course, this is something that varies from product to product, right? All right, rating. Then we have the description. This is the description that we have. We may want to use natural language processing here to get some information from this and create new fields here, right? NLP. That is machine learning. We don't go there. Then we have created at. When was this product created in the system? So this is not relevant for us here. Typically, one more thing that we have here, obviously, is the so this is one table, right? Then we have another table that has only the sales. So for example, and I will create that table in front of you. I will create the blueprint in front of you. So what do we have in the other table is simply the name of the product and sales, right? Name of the product and sales. Now sales in the last 1 month, sales in the which month, all of that, right? So let's say we have sales in last month. Then we have sales in last quarter and sales in last 6 months. And finally, sales in last year, last 1 year. So these kinds of columns we have, right? And these columns help me make the actual decisions. So I wanted to create this in front of you because now you know the strategy and you know why this kind of a table will be helpful, right? Will be very, very useful for building a strategy in BBD. Right. So of course, sales in last month, let's say 1,000 units were sold in, or 10,000 units were sold in the last month. In the last quarter, let's say 35,000 units were sold. Last 6 months, probably 78,000. And last 1 year, maybe about 1.5 lakh, 150,000. Right. So is the sales increasing? Probably no. Right. Because if you see the average here is 150,000 by 12. On average, 12,500 uh, laptops were sold in a month. But in the last month, only 10,000 laptops were sold, as you can see here. right? So all this helps me inform my strategy. Hope you're able to understand that. And this, how can I bring this here? And this is core Excel, right? Now, this is where Excel really helps you. How can I get this data here? How can I get the sales here? Let's say I want sales in last month. Tell me in the chat, how can I get sales in last month here? Okay, more answers. From that sheet, I can get the sales in this sheet using a VLOOKUP. So Excel has this feature called VLOOKUP, equal to VLOOKUP. The lookup value is this. I want to find the sales for this product, right? So this is the value that will join both tables in some sense, right? So one second. So this is the value I want to get, and I want to get the second row. I am not walking you through the formula right now because it might be new for most. So we will discuss that later. But let's see the sales in last month, right? So this is the sales in the last month for this product. Now I can fill this in a similar manner for all the remaining products, and I can do the same for other things also, like sales in previous quarter, all of that. So this information will now come in the same sheet, right? All the information will come in the same sheet, and that's the kind of sheet that is used for data analysis, right? Or building strategies. That is an overview of the Flipkart BBD. Obviously, this kind of data you will find in Amazon or on any other B2C or B2B e-commerce company. You will find it in a similar manner, right? Last step is to analyze, right? And in any data analytics life cycle, you have 7 steps typically. So I'll just walk you through those steps before we continue, right? So we understand the problem statement. That's the first step. Understand what's the problem statement. In this case, the problem statement is how can I create a strategy for BBD? Second step is to collect the data, right? Collect data or fetch data, typically done by data engineers. So we collect the data and then we clean the data, which means that we need to ensure that the data is free of outliers, maybe does not have missing values, does not have error values, and does not have duplicates. Four things broadly, right? Duplicates, missing values, errors, and maybe outliers also. Right? We don't want the data to have outliers. If there are outliers, we should know it, and even the stakeholders should know it. So these are the things we do in cleaning the data. What's the next step? We manipulate the data. It means we change a few things in the data, or let's say we add a column, we remove a column, we combine a few columns, right? And we create fields that are more useful for us, and the data overall is more usable or consumable for us, right? Uh, can be directly fed into a data model or into a machine learning model, right? So that is the fourth step: manipulate the data, and then we actually analyze the data, right? And this is where we call EDA. Exploratory data analysis also is done here, right? EDA, exploratory data analysis, means that you are exploring the data, let's say through some basic tools like pivot table, or you are creating visualizations to understand the trends in the data, right? That is EDA. And then we have the real step, or probably the most interesting step, data visualization, where you create those beautiful charts and graphs that clearly show you the trends and patterns in the data, and you can immediately at one glance learn about the data from that. And the last step is data storytelling. From the visualization that we have, from the data that we have, can we tell a story? Can we communicate to the stakeholders in a more effective manner using the data visualizations, right? So that story will help inform decisions. So maybe a last step here can be take decisions, right? Make decisions using the data that you shared with the stakeholders. So these seven steps broadly, these steps are the real data analytics life cycle. And this is what also happens at Flipkart in a similar manner, right? So this is something you should know. And this is any other company to solve a data analytics project or data science project uses the same data analytics lifecycle. All right. So this is how we actually uh, build a strategy or decide on offers in Flipkart, right? Any questions still here? Happy to answer maybe. Um, can see if you in the chat. Yeah. So fourth step again. Fourth step is manipulate the data, right? Which means that you may want to combine a few fields or remove a few fields, right? And if you do that, your data overall will be more consumable, right? Will be more usable by the model, or the data analyst can quickly do data analysis on that. So that is manipulation of the data, and it may involve, right, using formulas, summing up something, right? Aggregation, all of that is part of manipulation of data. So, for example, you have a data set, very detailed data set like this one, and you probably want to just understand per company what is the average rating per company, what is the average rating. So, let's say Lenovo, this is also Lenovo, this is also Lenovo, this is also. So, for every Lenovo might have multiple products, but for in general, for Lenovo, what is the average rating? Right. So, maybe what I'll do is I'll probably first create a new column with the brand name, right? Brand name. And then what I will do is I will pivot this actually, right? Then I will use a pivot table to pivot this and find the average rating, right? So that is something I will do. Uh, Another example here can be, let's say I want to fetch what is the percentage of, right? Just the number. So what I can do is I can use equal to left of this, and then there's a function called find. I want to find percentage, right? I want to find percentage uh, within this field minus one. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. So this, I got this percentage off, right? What is the discount basically? So what is the discount I plan to give in the BBD? This. Now what is the formula that I have used? Let me show that to you. First of all, let's see this find formula. Now what this find formula does in Excel is it helps you find a text very simply. What is the position of that text? So in this cell D2, if you see D2 is the cell, D column and 2 row. In this cell, what is the position of this percentage? Position of this percentage is 3, right? I want till 2 because 3, 6, 1 and 2. I want till the second position. So what I will do is I will do find minus 1, right? I want the first two digits or the first two characters in my cell. So what I will do is equal to left of this till the second character. Left function basically displays the leftmost characters. And how many characters you want to see? That is 2 in this case. So I will say 36. So 36 is the discount. This is the value I'm getting. And so instead of using two different columns, I just used one single column. Within this, I used both find and then left. Right? Both left and find I used within the same formula. So that is how I got the discount. I can just double click here to fill the same formula for all the products. Right? As you can see, I got the discount here. Maybe in some cases, if this is not defined, I get an error. So I will also have to handle these error values separately. Right? And then what I can do is I can do an average. Right? I can do a simple average equal to average discount. I will get an error because obviously we have a lot of error values in between, like this one. but you get the gist, right? This is data manipulation. I create new columns that are useful in the analysis, which is why manipulation comes before the analysis step. If you see, data analysis is the next step immediately after manipulation. All right. Um, all this takes how much time? Okay, how to learn? See, that's a very common question, and maybe I'll just talk about this now. How do we learn these things? There are obviously a lot of courses, but where do you get real hands-on practice, right? Because that's a very, very big thing. You won't be able to crack interviews and interview tests if you don't have hands-on practice. So, what I always suggest to people, right? People wanting to learn, people wanting to transition, people wanting to maybe switch right from one industry to the other, anything around that, it becomes very very important for you to actually enroll in a course or learn this in a course that is focusing on hands on practice, right? So I definitely suggest people, if you want to learn in a manner that helps you crack interviews or transition your industry, right? Switch careers. It is always recommended to enroll in a boot camp, right? It is this boot camp basically can be any company, any kind of boot camp that helps you with four things broadly. First of all, there is interview practice, right? Mock interviews. Second, there is expert guidance, right? Maybe 24/7 expert guidance, for example, or mentorship, proper mentorship from those experts. And third, some kind of placement support also, because mostly you can learn everything, but then if there's no placement support, you are again left on your own. And finally, fourth, a very very solid roadmap. In the course you should have a very solid roadmap that these are the next steps, this is the next topic that will be covered, and this is how you will practice. Then you start with tests, all that process, right? The solid roadmap that you can blindly trust, and you just need to follow the roadmap very very diligently, and you will be placed in no time, right? So that kind of a thing. I always recommend people to enroll in such boot camps or programs, and most of these are paid because of the kind of value it offers, right? And these help you build your profile from scratch because you come from a different industry, or if even if you want to just upskill, right? I think these are the best ways to do that. You'll find a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of let's say Coursera, Udemy courses, but they just fill a small part of the puzzle. They just complete a small part. What is important is these four steps, as I mentioned, right? Solid roadmap, expert guidance, mock interviews, and placement support. So as a coding ninjas mentor, I've seen a lot of courses over the years, right? I've been associated with coding ninjas. I've seen a lot of courses outside of coding ninjas, and I've seen the course inside of it also, that is called the data analytics job bootcamp. And I can definitely attest to the benefits of this program. I can speak about some other programs also, but I think the program that we have created here in Coding Ninjas, we have the best experts, right, from the best companies and data analytics, data science professionals. Secondly, I myself am aware of the curriculum that we have created. It is probably the best curriculum you can find, very very relevant to today's questions in the interviews, and very very relevant to what people are actually doing in companies, right? To data analysts in companies. So I can speak volumes, or I can speak a lot about the course that we have, the job bootcamp that we have, and I would definitely recommend all of you to explore the same, right? It is tough these days to find a program which covers all these aspects. There will be one or two things that are missing in most of the cases. Right, so we have shared a form here in the chat. Maybe if we can share it again. Yeah, we've shared it just now. So it's mentioned Data Analytics Job Bootcamp is a 6 months program by Coding Ninjas. All the details are there. If you are interested to learn more, please fill the form. If I were in your place and I already knew the benefits of the program, I would have definitely jumped at the opportunity because of the kind of program. It's almost like a hack, right? that you get all the questions that are asked in interviews, you get all the topics that are asked, and you are taught exactly in the same manner that is most beneficial for you in cracking the interviews, right? Or exactly in a manner that is most effective for cracking interviews and getting placed and then performing well in your job, in your data analytics job. So that ways it is very, very effective. And yeah, I mean, there's a form. Maybe I can wait for a minute. You can fill the form if you're interested before we move ahead with the session. And obviously, I have a bunch of things to cover in the session. So we will be back in maybe 30 seconds. So I'll just wait for 30 seconds. Please fill the form if you're interested. And all your questions I will answer post that also. Yes, just waiting for some people to fill the form. Please go ahead and fill the form. We'll give you 30 seconds maybe if you, you know. So yeah, session duration is 1 minute. I mean 1 hour. So, okay. Course fee. Course fee is do we okay if we want to cover this right now for for people coming through me or people coming through this webinar, right? We have a 30K discount for people enrolling through this webinar or people coming from the leads generated through the webinar. Now, the price is 1.5 lakh otherwise, but for people enrolling through this webinar, there's a 30K discount, which makes the effective price to be 1.2 lakh. And this is for 6 months and including everything placement support, and expert guidance 24/7, mock interviews, placement. Now, the placement support itself requires a lot of collaboration with Naukri.com, which is a subsidiary, right? Coding Ninjas is a subsidiary of Naukri.com, which is the number one job website in India. So that as well helps us get the best opportunities first. So that helps us place more students. And then finally, obviously, the solid roadmap piece, live sessions, everything. So to know more about the course, I think you should fill the form, right? In this session, this session is not around exactly, I mean, talking about that. Towards the end of the session, we will definitely speak more about the course.
Yes, guys, we will be answering all the questions at the end around the job bootcamp. We will be there to answer all and every questions of yours. I think, Ashwin, we can now resume with the session.
Yeah, let's just resume because we don't want to digress here.
Yeah.
We will spend 10 minutes at the end. That's my promise for sure. All right. Moving on, right? Now, if you see here, this data set, I have the discount, I get the sales values from the sheet one, and I can take a decision, right? So we are effectively on step after data analysis, right? And data visualization, we are on step 7 now, where we actually tell a story and we take decisions based on that. So these kinds of stories I remember category managers telling to directors and to VPs in Flipkart, and they actually built strategies and decided on the promises that they are going to make with the brand or the targets that they are going to put forward to the brand or to the stakeholders. So that helps. All of that is part of the BBD strategy. Something that really makes it one of the biggest e-commerce festivals in not only India, in the world, right? The kind of sales that are there in BBD, crazy, right? You can't even begin to imagine the numbers. They're uh, they're huge. So moving to the next part, and this I want to just stress upon more because this is the part where we talk about interview questions. Let me just uh, share my screen. Just give me a second. All right. Perfect. So the kinds of questions that are asked are not very tough in Flipkart data analytics interview, right? Uh, if you've learned data analytics properly, right? If you have some hands-on experience, you should not face a problem. So I will start with this, right? First question. here, and I wanted to display the answers along with the questions so that because for many people this is totally new. So questions like these in Excel, right? SUMIF and SUMIF's function. So these are two very important function. SUMIF finds the sum of values that meet a certain condition. I'm just giving an example of the kinds of questions that are asked in interviews. Right? So SUMIF finds the sum of values if a particular condition is met. That is why it is known as SUMIF. Next, we have SUMIFS function. So it finds the sum of values that are that meet multiple conditions, right? Sum if this condition is met and also this condition is met and also this condition is met. That is sum ifs. So that's one kind of question that is asked. Next is, what is the difference between count A and count blank? Again, count counts only numeric values, right? Strings, special characters, blank cells, they are ignored. Only numeric characters. Count A counts any cell except blank, right? Any value basically, any cell that has a value. So total number of cells containing any content. Blank cells will be ignored. Count blank, as the name suggests, count blank only counts the blank cells. Cells with a value or with any kind of characters, right, is ignored. So that is count blank. All right. I see a few questions in the chat also. I didn't receive form. It was shared here. Let me again share it, maybe. Um, yes, shared again. 1 second. Okay, yeah, shared. Yes, thanks. So count blank counts only blank cells. If I move back to Excel, I can probably demonstrate. So let's say, okay, let me just show this to you very quickly. I will just move back to Excel. Let me know when you're able to see my screen. Yes. So let's say I have a value here 1, 4, 2, 6. Then there's a blank, then 7 or 3, let's say. Now, if I use a count blank here, if I use a count blank here, let's see, equal to count blank, all this data, the answer will be 1, right? Answer will be 1 here. If I use a count, then what will be the answer? It will be 5, 5 values here. What if this is not a numeric character? This is A. So count will be 4 because it only counts numeric characters. And what if I use count A? Tell me in the chat what will be the answer if I use a count A. Tell me in the chat what will be the answer if I use a count A here for this data. I'll give you a second maybe just to think about it. Tell me in the chat. So count calculates the count of only numeric characters. Count blank calculates the count of only blank cells, and count A calculates the count of all characters. Count A calculates the count of all characters except blanks. So answer here will not be 4 square. So will not be 4. Uh, Answer will be, so it is counting, see, 1, 2, 3. It is counting A also, 4 and 5. The answer will be 5, right? 3, 4, 5. So it is counting everything that is not blank. So it just skips this one. This is the table that we have just to make it very clear. Right, this is the table. And the count A value, this is count A. This is count. This is count blank. I hope you understand the difference now. Finally, just to repeat one more time, count blank counts the blanks. Count calculates only numeric characters. and count A calculates everything apart from blanks, right? Any cell that has a value. All right. Moving back to the interview questions for Excel. This is done. Now let's see. How do we split a column into two or more columns? In Excel, there is a there's an option. I'll just demonstrate that to split a column into multiple columns based on some delimiter. Right? What is a delimiter? Delimiter can be a space, it can be a tab, it can be a hyphen, it can be a full stop or a semicolon. Right? So you can split based on that delimiter. uh, and this is the process, right? Now very quickly I can just go back to Excel and we do a bit of to and fro, so just bear with me. So let's say I have data like this. Let's see, I have data like this. I have name of uh, let's say I have name of a brand of laptops, and then I have a different name, and then a different name, then a different one. So let's say this is name. Okay. Now what I want to do here is I want to split this. What I will do is I will go to data. There is an option of text to columns, and this is the option delimited, right? We select the option to choose the file type that best describes your data. Delimited, go to next. What is the delimiter? The delimiter in my case is semicolon. See this, just look at this part. Just look at this part, Lenovo, Acer, Dell, Apple. If I split it using a semicolon, see these become different columns altogether. And that is exactly what I want to do. Done. See, Lenovo, Acer, Dell, Apple have now come in different columns. Isn't this wonderful? Because this is very, very helpful for us. We will be able to split any kind of text basis, any kind of delimiter. Right? So that is why this is very, very important. Perfect. So that is there. Next one, and probably I'll just cover a bunch of more questions here. VLOOKUP function in Excel. Some of you may know this already. So VLOOKUP helps you search for something from a different table, right? It brings something from a different table to the current table. So it finds and produces data from a specific data set, and it searches from the left column, moves to the right, and it compares estimated and true search values. Basically, let's say I want to fetch the sales for a laptop, right? That we just did. We fetched the sales of a laptop from the other table, right? Just based on the laptop name, or typically it can be based on the product ID. So it fetches that information from that place to this place, and actually goes ahead and displays that in the table. So that is the VLOOKUP function. Okay, can many tables be used to build pivot tables? Yes. You will get to know this only after you do a lot of practice, and only after you actually work on a project, or any kind of case study. So it is always recommended to do projects and case studies because they give you this hands-on exposure. That is one reason. And second, obviously, you can also demonstrate them on your resume. Right? So that ways it is very, very important for you to do case studies, projects, and demonstrate them on your resume. All right, shortcut key combination, control plus D is used to flash fill, right? Is used to fill down the selection. So let's say I want to copy a formula from one cell to all the remaining cells. I can simply do control D, or I can just double click at the right bottom corner. So that's one. And yeah, I mean, sometimes they also ask other concepts. I'll just tell you what the concept is: guesstimates. So this is where we make intelligent guesses around, let's say, for example, how many tennis balls can fit in an airplane, or how many cars are there on Bangalore roads today, right? Those kinds of questions. Or, for example, total number of cars or light motor vehicles running on Indian roads, revenue through ads, annual revenue through click ads, impressions, etc. So these are intelligent guesses that you need to make basis some structures and formulas, right? Based on some structures, basic structures. So just search for this online, maybe just learn about this a bit. But yes, mostly we have this Excel, SQL, and Python. So maybe I'll just quickly take one more minute to show you before I move to questions. Maybe another minute to just show you how what are the kinds of topics that are tested in SQL, right? So I will share my screen just now. Let's see. All right. Yes. I hope you're able to see this. So in SQL, of course, they ask you about joins. What are the four kinds of joins? Right? I'm not sure if my screen is visible. Confirm once, maybe. Okay. Okay, let me just share it again. I think my screen was not shared. Let me just share it again. There's some issue here. All right. Yes, I think now. Perfect. I think now you should be able to see my screen. Just confirm once. Perfect. So SQL, very quickly, favorite question of interviewers is joins, right? Definitely, they will definitely ask you something around joins. What are the four types of joins? Left join, right join, full outer join, and inner join, right? Joins. And then order of execution of different SQL statements. This is the order that you can see here: from, where, group by, having, select, order by, limit. In this order, statements or keywords are executed in SQL, right? So that is the order of execution. Another frequently asked question. Next, we have primary and foreign key. What is a primary key? What is a foreign key? Right? These kinds of questions. So I just wanted to give you an idea of the kinds of questions that are asked. And if you see, if people who know SQL will identify that these are not difficult questions. Right? These are basic questions. They don't ask a lot of very advanced questions typically in the data analyst process. So just make sure you practice a lot of such questions and then appear for the interview. All right. Best of luck for the interview whenever it is scheduled in future. And the whatever I've covered today is not only applicable for Flipkart. These kinds of questions are also applicable for let's say other similar companies, startups. In general, these are the kinds of questions that are asked. Perfect. Next 10 minutes, I'll take for questions. Please feel free to write your questions in the Q&A or in the chat. I am happy to take them up now. After which, we will talk in a bit more detail about the Coding Ninjas job bootcamp for data analytics. All right. Those are the next steps. So I can see a question. I am a student of BSc Data Science and specialization in data analytics. I am a student of first year and want to make a career in data analytics. Right.